like my hair today. It's doing this like weird Shirley Temple thing. I think I curled my what do you call them? Curls, whatever, too tight. And yeah, this is the result. So whatever. Now that we got that out of the way, if you are watching this and have not seen You yet, like the TV series, the Netflix series, go watch it, because it's gonna be mad spoilers up in here. I'm not even gonna hold you, okay? So go and watch it and then come back to my video, okay? So in this video, we are going to be covering season 3 of You. And basically I just want to point out some things in the show that they got right about marriage, like things that they got correct, you know? So let's get started.
Too late. And then I realized who I was.
Okay, so in this clip, you see this was kind of in season 2, leading into season 3, but I thought that this clip was very, very, very important, because before a marriage is just as important as the marriage in itself. What happens before, her yelling like, hey, I'm pregnant, and him almost killing her. They didn't address that until way into the show, like way into the story. And I was like, that's not a good foundation to build a relationship on. That's not a good foundation at all. Like, you literally almost killed your girlfriend, wife, whatever you want to call her, fiance, I guess, like, you almost killed her, and then you guys never even talked about it? Like, you don't think that's kind of strange to not talk about the fact that you almost killed somebody? The only reason why she didn't die was because she was pregnant. So the baby is literally the only thing that's not only saved her life, but saved their relationship. And he was really only with her because she was pregnant. Literally. So it's like, girl, any problems that you have before marriage definitely exacerbate after marriage. And seeing as though murder, obviously this is kind of a funny, relationship, and it's they're murdering people and whatnot. This is what they do. But since that was like a problem before their marriage, it definitely got worse, as you can see, during the marriage, because that's a problem that they had. But also I wanted to add to this one, because of what he knew she was capable of. He was scared of her the whole entire time, throughout the whole relationship. He was scared of her, thinking, wow, like, is she gonna kill me? Is she gonna kill someone else? Like, what's gonna happen, right? Which is so not a good way to go about a relationship. And obviously, like, I know relationships aren't, murder, but even thinking that somebody is going to bring something up in confidence, that you said in confidence, to other people, or that they are not going to take care of business or something the way that they are supposed to. What it leads to is a person who can't be themselves in a relationship. And the whole point of a relationship is to find somebody that you can be more of yourself with than anybody in the world. And so any relationship built on something like that, if a person's scared to speak their mind or scared to say what they want to say, well, that's going to be a rocky foundation, So moving on to the next scene.
Henry, and get the fuck out.
You are going to leave me? Are you insane?
No. Love, you must listen.
I am listening, every word. How?
There's a difference between a reaction and a response. The latter is thoughtful, the former impulsive.
Why does everybody think I'm impulsive?
Okay, so in this scene, they're in therapy, and I pulled a lot of the therapy scenes because I feel like those were scenes where they were working on their marriage, and I just found so much enlightenment from it. And I found myself, as I was watching it, just saying, yes, yes, oh my goodness, that's great, good information, that's awesome. Like I just felt connected to those scenes. So those are mostly the ones that I pulled. But in this particular scene, he goes and he tells her basically like that he wanted to leave at some point, and she gets upset and is like, you were gonna leave me? And when your partner is telling you something that obviously they've been hiding from you, they've been hiding it for a reason, because a lot of times they're scared of your reaction. And she said something so profound when she talked about how like the difference between a response and a reaction, and a response is thoughtful and a reaction is impulsive. That was so that was good writing. That was good writing, and I loved that part. I loved it so much because it's like when somebody is telling you something and they're really like pouring their heart out to you, and you respond in an explosive manner, and you say,
"What? Why would you say that?"
It's like, well, then they think to themselves, well, that's the reason why I didn't want to say anything in the first place. And then they become recluse, and then now they don't want to tell you anything because they don't want those kinds of reactions. In those situations, what you're supposed to do, especially if this person is bearing their heart out to you, listen, stop before you react, and think about what you want to say next and how what you're going to say makes that person feel. Because a lot of people want that openness in their relationships. And had she been, well, first of all, less crazy, let's just be honest there. But also, had she been a little bit more open to hearing what he had to say, because she was actually kind of selfish in a lot of the things that she did. Had she been more open to him saying different things and expressing himself in different ways, I actually feel like he could have grown to love her, even though she had her flaws, which were huge flaws. That relationship, I mean, because they were very much alike, and it seemed like they were made for each other.
Tax.
What were you feeling when this stranger paid you so much attention?
Guilty. Because it felt so good. And then really sad. Because I didn't want that from a stranger. I wanted that from my husband.
Okay, so in the clip we just watched, they're in therapy, and Love is expressing how she felt when she met the young man, and she felt guilty that she kind of enjoyed his attention that he was giving her. When you have one partner who's feeling neglected by another partner, this is very typical. This happens all the time in marriages. When someone's not getting enough checks, when somebody's not getting enough attention, or when your love language is not being spoken. And obviously he was ignoring her because he thought in his mind, like, oh, I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to provide, make sure the bills are paid. I'm going to take care of the baby and all of this stuff. But she could tell that his heart wasn't really in it. And what she was needing was that deeper connection that she was not getting. Number one. Number two, all of those things of like, compliments and him holding her a certain way, like you can tell like when somebody looks at someone a certain way how they really feel about them. They often say like the eyes are the windows to the soul, so you can see like when he looks at her, he's faking the funk, like he really doesn't care about her that much, but he's trying to make it seem like he does, of course. When one is feeling neglected at home, any compliment or any kind of like outside attention that normally would just roll off their back like a duck, that like is like intensifying for them, because it's like you crave that attention, like you're craving that from somebody. And I've had many friends to tell me, you know, man, that felt like really good to have some like male attention, or to have you know, to have somebody compliment me. It shows somebody show me some attention. And a lot of times, not in this particular relationship, but in other relationships where the man and the woman are actually trying to come together, the man gets upset when somebody else is complimenting their woman or whatever, or the woman might get upset when somebody's complimenting their man, but it's like, you're not doing it. You ain't doing it. So you can't really get too mad when somebody else falls in and that person actually kind of likes it. So do your job so nobody else can come in on you and do it for you. My mama used to always say this thing. It's kind of long, but it's something that's always stuck with me. She used to say, take care of your business, because if you don't, somebody else is going to come and take care of it for you, and you're not going to like the way that they take care of it, period. Okay? Take care of your business at home so nobody else has to take care of your business for you. Simple. And also, I want to say that I kind of felt bad for Love in a way, because she's kind of doing all the things that she kind of knows to do in order to make her marriage work, but yet and still she's kind of being ignored and not really feeling connected to her partner for obvious reasons, but she felt guilty because she enjoyed the attention from the guy. It's not like she flirted back with him. She did not flirt back with him. She was actually trying to repel him, but she had to be honest with herself and say she enjoyed the exchange. And I really do feel bad for her a little bit, because that's a tough situation to be in when you really are trying to only have eyes for your husband or your wife, and someone is kind of pulling on your heartstrings a little bit because that person is fulfilling something that your partner isn't. That is tough. This is where communication comes in, and this is where being open and being able to communicate with your partner, like, hey, something's missing, we need to get on it because I'm feeling some type of way, you know. And depending on how open you want to be with your husband or your wife, like, hey, I had this exchange, I liked it a little too much. And I think you should be able to have those conversations. I think those kind of conversations are healthy. Number one, it lets the other person know other people are looking at you, you know, the same way that they should be. And number two, you know, there's some interference there. So you need to up your game a little bit. You're not doing enough in this area. So, yeah.
So you stayed for the child, not for your wife. Unfortunately, that's our time for today. I'm giving you homework. How to talk. The reflective listening exercise will help structure difficult conversations. Slow down, respond, instead of react.
That's Love's homework. Mine is to prevent her from murdering this therapist.
And I'd like to see you as soon as possible, given we are in a bit of a triage situation.
Is it that bad?
You want me to tell you whether or not you should be together. The truth is, the easiest thing is to end this marriage. Either one of you have the power to do it tonight. You must choose to stay together every minute from now until death, and that takes a lot of will, and something both of you are willing to fight for. So far, I've only heard you fight to be right. You need a deeper purpose.
Henry? If nothing else, Love and I...
And don't say Henry. If children were enough reason to stay married, we'd have no divorced parents.
Yes, I know I don't have children, but I do think that this clip is so important because I do have friends who do have children. And a lot of times they'll have these kids and they think that having children is going to save their marriage and that everything is going to getting married doesn't save your relationship. Having children doesn't save your relationship. Trying to make this person stay with you by any means necessary does not save your relationship. None of it does. The only thing that saves a relationship is you and your partner being intentional about being together, being choosing each other every single day, like she said, choosing to love each other and choosing to make it work. And if both of you are not on that same page and both of you don't want to do that, well, it's going to be very difficult for both of y'all, because other than that, it's not going to work, period. It's just not. There's no way around it. You just need that elbow grease, you feel? And I like how she said, if children were enough to save a relationship, that there would be no divorced parents. That is so true. And also, children can feel in a household when something's not right. All of those nonverbal cues of, like, us holding hands and, a kiss on the cheek, hugging each other, the way that you look at each other. Children pay attention to that, and they learn those interpersonal relationships through how they watch their parents grow and love each other throughout their childhood, and that affects their relationships as well growing up. So if they have never seen their parents kiss before, or hug, or just be intimate in any kind of way, then that gives them intimacy problems a lot of times, it's hard for them to be vulnerable, especially in like public places and things like that, because they just didn't see it growing up, so now they're uncomfortable with it. So what do they do if they get a partner who is comfortable with it and they want that? So I think if you are a person who has children and you are trying to stay together for the children, I think that you do need to find a bigger purpose than your children to stay in your relationship, because that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
What's the only thing worse than couples therapy? Coming home afterward. Dr. Chandra's How to Talk worksheet is mostly about how to listen, which may be useful if we ever talk again.
Okay, so Sherry's wedding cake was lemon raspberry. So I think that gluten-free, sugar-free, fucking happiness-free cupcakes. That should be a safe bet. Andrew and Jackson's kids' party.
We're still going to that? Don't you think that maybe?
Oh, wait, do you have some packing and running to do? I'm sorry. Let me try it again. I'm sorry. What I'm hearing is that you think that Natalie and us should be the only people who mysteriously don't attend today's party.
Not better.
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
What I'm hearing is that you would really like some alone time, so I'm gonna go take Henry and let you work in peace.
Oh, what is it?
Okay, so in this clip right here, bro, listen, I was like, yes, because after you have a therapy session, like a couples therapy session, the worst part is literally like going home, the ride home, going home, and actually putting it into place, because first of all, it's awkward because you just like divulged all of these things. Like, if you had a therapy session alone, it basically stays in the therapy session with your therapist, and your therapist isn't going to tell anybody because by law they're obligated to not say anything now. But your partner and y'all just may have had a fight in therapy. And we've been in couples therapy, me and my husband. Y'all may have just argued in therapy. Y'all may have, it's that drive home is silent and awkward, or more arguing. And when you get home, it's like learning a new language, because your therapist, they should, if they're a good therapist, be giving you different tools and different things that you need to be doing and learning in order to have like a better relationship. So when you go to talk and y'all, I mean, obviously, like, you're in therapy for a reason, so you're probably having arguments at home and different things, right? And it's like just a very tumultuous, goodness gracious, tumultuous time in your relationship. So when you get home and like the next day, y'all might be arguing over the sandwiches or some kind of miscommunication that y'all had, bro. It's literally like learning a new language. You saw she picked up the paper and it said, I think it said like how to talk or how to communicate or how to talk to your partner or something like that. Literally, they did this one exercise that I really love, and I actually use it in anytime I have like a disagreement with somebody, because I think it's so profound. And it was, what I hear you saying is, because sometimes your wires get crossed and what you hear somebody say isn't really what they meant. So it kind of puts you like on a level playing field and has you back up, you know, and says, okay, what I heard come out of your mouth is X, Y, and Z. And then that person can then say, well, no, that isn't what I meant, or yes, that's exactly what I meant. And then you can kind of go on from there, so you know the communication. And also, like, it can let you know, like, was it said with attitude, or was it said, were you trying to argue with me, whatever, you know. And if you're really trying to do it correctly, if you're trying to be in a relationship and work on it, that exercise is amazing. It's really good. It's a really good exercise. I'm gonna end it here, because if I go any longer, this video is gonna be super long and I don't want to do that to you guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a part 2 to this video, so make sure y'all tune into that one. That one will be out very soon. And make sure that y'all comment, like, and subscribe as well if you have not. And if you are Bubble Gang, please, I want to see the soap bubbles in the comments. Okay, I would love to see them. And once again, if you have not seen the whole season of You yet, please go watch that. It's a great show. It's very entertaining. And yeah, I love you guys so much. See you in the next video. Bye.